Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but today we are talking about Star Wars Outlaws as we got some brand new gameplay, planet, and open world details thanks to a couple of new articles out of Games Radar as they sat down with the creative director for the game, Julian Gerighty, and talked about some brand new stuff about Star Wars Outlaws. There's some new details to go over, some not so new details, but that do provide additional context for this game. We're gonna break it all down for you today, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It'll notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. Now that out of the way, Andreas, we've been talking a lot of indie recently, but you ready to talk about that galaxy far, far away again?
Oh yeah, always excited to talk Star Wars. Let's do this, guys. Today's discussion is a bit of a two-parter. First off, we have some new information on some open world and planet details, and then later on we've got some great information about the reputation system in this game. Nick, why don't you kick us off with the first part here, the open world details and the new planet information.
Yeah, definitely. So we broke these articles down into about 4 paragraphs that we thought contained the most interesting information from this interview or whatever this was with Julian Gerighty. They don't exactly say exactly what happened. They just talked with him apparently, because we don't get the full transcript of the interview. We just get some quotes here and there. And the first one I want to start with is this, where it says, "When crafting our story, we knew we wanted to allow players to explore some of the most iconic corners of the galaxy, while also offering completely new and exotic locations for them to discover. Each of the locations featured in Star Wars Outlaws are crucial to Kay's story, which was really the starting point. Then we evaluated the locations based on their themes and gameplay opportunities they presented, ensuring each had a strong, thriving underworld that would offer unique and interesting situations for a new outlaw such as Kay." So Andreas, this is very interesting because this kind of provides us insight as to why they picked the locations in this game that they did. And it also makes me wonder if there will be any additional planets or locations that we haven't yet had confirmed for this game that we will find out eventually, or if we're working with just the list that we have. Kiva, Toshara, Tatooine, Kijimi, Cantonica, they all fit this bill of having a strong underworld presence. And it's cool to see that when they were looking for planets and locations to build into this game, just seeing what criteria they were looking for, because they're all very kind of random scattered planets, but they all do fit this bill. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah, Gerighty goes on to mention a few of these planets. He says, from Tatooine, which is the ultimate hive of scum and villainy, and home to Jabba the Hutt, to Toshara, a new moon created specifically for Kay's story. Each location will offer players unique experiences, biomes, and stories. So far, we have a handful of confirmed planets. We've got Tatooine, we have the brand new planet, Toshara, we've got Akiva, Kijimi, and there's Cantonica. So, Nick, I'm seeing the common thread that you're seeing, that checklist here. All of these planets have one thing in common. It's that they have a black market, they have an underworld, they are grimy, they are hives of scum and villainy, and that's exactly the type of environment that we would expect Kay to be exploring as she begins her story as a scoundrel in the Star Wars universe. So, Nick, when you're thinking of those planets I just listed, which planet really sticks out to you as one that you really can't wait to get your hands on with this game in particular?
Yeah, when we first saw, I guess, or heard what planets we were going to, my immediate reaction was, this is a very weird collection of planets. Tatooine, that makes sense. Akiva, I thought that was a little weird. I thought it was really cool we were going back to Kijimi and Cantonica and being able to explore them some more, but just a weird collection of planets. And I find it really interesting here where he says that all of these locations are crucial to Kay's story. So we really are getting kind of this, globe-trotting or galaxy-trotting adventure here where each of these planets offer something completely unique and different. They, like he said, they're different biomes. You have the deserty biome, you get a jungle biome, you get that kind of like cool islandy vibe with Cantonica, and then Kijimi is like a snowy planet. Like, they each offer something unique, which I think is really cool and a really smart thing to do, to just so you're not hopping from one desert planet to like another desert planet. It's cool that we're going to get some variety. And to answer your other question, The planet that I'm really the most excited for, or probably two planets I'm most excited for, are Cantonica and Kijimi, and it's probably because of Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Like, I really enjoyed Cantonica in that game, and I would like to be able to explore more of it. It is a planet from The Last Jedi. Feel how you will about that movie. I did find the planet itself very fascinating and a place that I would like to explore more on my own. And Kijimi, saw it in Rise of Skywalker, didn't get to spend a whole lot of time there, and then in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, we literally could not go there outside of, a mission from the story. We couldn't explore it. So I've been wanting to explore that planet because I think it looks incredibly cool. So that is probably the planet, if I had to pick one, I am the most excited for. I really want to explore around Kijimi.
You know what, Nick? I think it's funny that you highlight two completely different planets that I was about to highlight. For me, I am really excited to see this team's take on Akiva. Akiva being a planet that we've known about for quite some time, but I've been waiting to see in a mainstream media format, and I think this is going to be the best way to see a planet of this scale in an open world Star Wars game. This is a planet that does have very diverse environments. It has a very urban environment with almost like a maze of catacombs underneath the city of Mira, which is the capital city of Akiva. And then there's also the frequent thunder and rainstorms in Akiva and flash floods. And I just can't wait to see how they balance all of those moving parts and really breathe life into this planet that we haven't really seen much of. And then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, Nick, I'm excited to see their take on a planet that we've seen too much of. You know what I'm talking about. Tatooine. We've seen Tatooine in just about every single format of Star Wars, whether it be movies, shows, video games. We've seen Tatooine over and over and over again. But that said, they have a unique ability here to do something with Tatooine that we haven't seen before. And what I'm talking about, Nick, is something that we were kind of hoping for with Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and that is a completely open Tatooine where you can go freely between the large hubs of Tatooine like Mos Espa, Mos Eisley, and really take a speeder from one location to the other. This is something that we weren't exactly able to do in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, but something that we were looking forward to doing. And this game has a chance to be the definitive open world version of Tatooine in any game. And that's a really cool prospect and something that I'm really excited to see.
No, that's a great point because, like you said, that was kind of something that we hyped ourselves up with Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We were talking about, all of these different locations you could go on Tatooine, and would we be able to go across the Great Dunes with a speeder? And we've seen from the gameplay in Outlaws, that is going to be possible. It's completely open. You jump on your speeder. So, I agree with you. I am incredibly interested to see just how big Tatooine, I guess, ends up being in this game and how many of those iconic locations. I think that is definitely something to keep an eye on as we get more gameplay. Now, I want to move on to these next few quotes because it sounds like what is kind of serving as the baseline for these locations, why they pick these locations, is that underworld, because they wanted to build in this reputation gameplay system. It sounds like they kind of play off of each other. As he says, as a scoundrel, you live and die by your reputation, meaning that Kay will have to navigate the underworld and its various crime syndicates, making choices that will impact her reputation, her experience, and her support throughout the game. So Andreas, they pick these locations because of their underworld presence so that they could have this reputation system where you're going to work with some of these crime syndicates, you're going to betray some of these crime syndicates, and depending on your actions, it's going to be how friendly or hostile these locations are going to treat you, which honestly sounds really fun. I'm so excited for how dynamic this game is going to be. And then this last quote, I just want to finish off on talking on that. He says, a good reputation could lead to some of the most lucrative opportunities, and a bad reputation could result in Kay facing a syndicate's wrath as they hunt her down. So Andreas, what I'm really wondering from this quote, before we talk into this whole reputation thing, is he says they'll hunt you down. Do you think that they will follow you from planet to planet? Say you piss off the Hutts on Tatooine and you flee to Kijimi. Do you think they're going to follow you?
I certainly do hope so. And this kind of leads into the broader discussion here that the article itself chimed into, which is the illusion of choice in video games and how sometimes games try to flesh out a reputation system like this, and then it kind of falls flat where, yeah, you make a few decisions here and there, and it may have one or two immediate consequences, but then in the long run, there's really nothing there. It's just kind of a system to advertise, but not really a thing to interact with and to have real consequences in the actual game. And if there's anything that I personally took away from the gameplay demonstration, Nick, it is that there are concrete consequences to your action that have a definite impact on the actual world. And of course, we can only go off of the gameplay that we've seen thus far and what they're advertising, but all of the evidence that's on the table right now points to a game that actually has consequences, where we're seeing Kay decides to screw over the Empire, and immediately you see the Empire is on her tail. There are TV screens in the location she's in that are showing wanted posters of her face. There is a visceral reaction to the decision that you make, which seems to be like maybe a smaller decision in this grand scheme of a game. I would hope that they wouldn't show like a big decision and spoil that for us. And if those tinier decisions have that big of an impact, Nick, I'm wondering what the bigger decisions in this game have. And of course, this article made clear that the ending of this game is the ending of this game. It's not a choose your own adventure, but it certainly seems so far that it's going to be a game that gives you consequences for your choices.
Yeah, I'm just incredibly intrigued to see how far this whole reputation system goes. Like, will it be as simple as just like a, yeah, you're a good person, or yeah, you're a bad person, or like you said, they'll hunt you down? Will it go beyond just the sphere of the planet that you're on? You know, like you said, that gameplay, we saw her screw over the Empire, and then she kind of flees from them in the space of Toshara and gets away. And then I kind of wonder, is that the end of it? Will they hunt you down into another star system or another planetary system? You know, games like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, where you get a bounty placed on your head for doing something in one location, and if you get it high enough, like, they'll send bounty hunters off after you in other locations. Will they do stuff like that in this game? Like, could we be chilling on Tatooine, screw over the Hutts, we flee to Kijimi, and then all of a sudden we got Bosk or Dengar, Boba Fett, or, you know, somebody of that nature hunting us down on a different planet? Like, honestly, the sky is the limit when it comes to this game. You really can imagine all sorts of crazy scenarios, and I am so excited to see more gameplay and more information about this game. Like we've been saying this whole time, they're saying the right things, and so far they've shown the right things. I think this is a game worth being excited about, obviously cautiously optimistic about any AAA game in today's society, but I've seen enough and I've heard enough to be incredibly excited. I can't wait to see more gameplay from Outlaws, hopefully sooner than later. Guys, let us know your thoughts down below on all of this information about why they chose the planets, the locations in this game, this whole reputation system. Let us know how you think it's going to work, and do you like the list of planets, or do you think based off of this criteria they are missing some key planets? You know, Andreas, I gotta say for myself, when I see this underworld stuff and how they wanted a location like that, hard not to imagine Coruscant hopefully making an appearance in this game, but you never know, this could just be the full list of planets until we find out more information. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. That is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.